Hi everyone, I'm here to talk about three ways to motivate to move more even when the temperatures drop and it's snowing or it's raining outside. I have been feeling this from everybody. Temperatures got pretty cold in Seattle over the weekend. I've heard from friends in Canada, it's snowing there. I heard about snow in Colorado. It's just that time of year where the weather has really shifted. And so this is one of those times where a lot of us want to just come indoors and settle in and cozy up, which yes, please cozy up and do that. And how do you keep motivating to move yourself, and how do you actually really motivate to move outside? And I want to talk first about why it would even matter to motivate to move outside. And actually there's really cool movement that happens in your body when you're exposed to different temperatures. We live in environments that are fairly regulated, and it's actually, your body is very adaptable. And so it's really good to actually start to adapt to being outside and shifting and moving that way. So that's the first piece, why it would matter. And then I want to share with you the simple steps I have to help motivate myself when it is raining or it's cold. I'm like, oh God, I'd rather just sit in here with like a nice cup of tea and be indoors. And the first way to do this is really to schedule it and to think of it as a tech break. Especially with the election last week, I know people's screen time, maybe you're avoiding your screen time report because it is quite high. But to actually start to schedule in a tech break for yourself and think of it that way, as much as you're thinking of it as a movement break, I like anything that's going to help me motivate in general. And I know for myself, scheduling a tech break is really useful. And to even start to think of any movement time as a tech break is really helpful. That even when you're on a class that's on Zoom, like it's still a tech break, and that you're not looking at the screen and you're really just starting to pay attention to your own body and to yourself. And that is a huge part of it. So scheduling it as a tech break and just saying, okay, I'm going to take 15 minutes, even if you only have 15, 20 minutes in between calls today, to really schedule in that as a tech break, and that as your first step to start to get yourself into that mentality of like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take that time for myself today. The second step is to remember this very cool fact. Your body generates heat when you move. You are like this amazing heat-making factory as soon as you move your body, and you know this, and yet it can be very easy to forget this. I was out on a walk yesterday and I was like, oh my God, it's really cold. And I knew what I had to do was I had to start moving. So if you can really start to remember that you generate heat once you do this, and any of you who've ever worked on any level physically in your body know this, and yet we can forget. But you actually generate heat. So if you're like, I don't want to go outside, it's cold, just remember that give yourself a few minutes, and if you start to move your body pretty effectively, you're going to actually warm yourself up just by moving and being outside. So remember that is the second step to start to get yourself motivated to move. You're like, oh, I'm going to warm up if I do it. And the third way is actually one of the essential things, I think, in the nature of that we're in still a pandemic, if anyone forgot, that we really aren't spending that much time indoors with people, that get a buddy. And get a buddy to go outside. So even if it's a 15-minute quick one, you could have a buddy, you can have it virtual. You could actually have a phone call. I spend a lot of time on walks connecting with people, catching up with people, because it's just a really nice time to do it. And it's also, you could do it in person. So if you are actually able to schedule like more of an hour-long walk and meet up with a friend, and this continues to be the way a lot of us are going to socialize through the winter, if you can actually say, okay, like we're gonna do it together. And that when you can motivate to do it together and to be outside with someone else, it really makes it easier. Accountability buddies make a huge difference in general in terms of staying accountable and doing it and actually being in the connection point of it. And for myself, I know that if I am going to actually talk with a friend while I'm walking, it helps me. Like I was out the other day on this like super frigid day. It was crazy. The wind was blowing and I was at a park in Seattle and I was with Coco. I was like, oh my gosh. But I got on the phone with a friend and it was really awesome. We had so much fun. Karen, shout out to you if you're watching, that we were really able to chat. And even though it was cold, I was actually much more motivated because I was like, all right, we were both talking about the sunset that we were looking at the same time. And it was just gorgeous. And even though it was a crazy cold day, I was able to stay motivated to be out there and to be on this walk because I was there with a buddy. So these are all these ways. And all of this, why does this matter? Connecting to your body. right? Getting into your body, moving your energy, shifting yourself, and then feeling focused and clear. And one of the things to always remember, this is one of my favorite facts around moving your body, is that it increases, like doing it up to 30 minutes, increases your focus and energy for 2 to 3 hours afterward. So make sure you get a break in today. Make sure you get some time in for yourself. Do it again tomorrow and the day after that. And remember that that's going to bring your energy and your focus back in. You're going to have more clarity for yourself. For those of you really determined to stay in your calling and your purpose, you're going to need this movement and this energy to keep yourself focused day after day. It's something so essential to how I lead my workdays in particular. So I'm here to give you that little pop of energy. Schedule your tech break. Remember your body generates heat, and then get a buddy and go have fun while doing it. All right, so report back. Let me know how you're gonna move outdoors at some point this week or today. Pop it in the chat. I'd love to hear. And thank you all so much for being here. And I'll see you soon, or outside.